Hello everyone, I'm Lindsay Storer. I'm an artist and an art teacher, and I've been asked today to demonstrate how an 11-year-old student could respond to a Van Gogh piece with the things that they've got at home. So that's what I'm going to do in this short video, so please watch and I will do my best to explain. So the Van Gogh picture which I've chosen is a wheat field with crows, and I have got just an ordinary drawing handwriting pen. It is a pen which is going to run with water, and I'll show you what will happen. If you don't have a pen that will run with water, then we can do one that's just in a roller ball or in say a Sharpie or something different, or even pencil. And I'm going to be painting with tea today. The tea will become the quality of the pigment, the colour, and it will. Here I've got my tea here, look, on my little tea tray, to show you what I can do. Here that I'm going to draw as well. I can see that there's a triangle in that corner, so we're looking for the basic shapes and the fundamentals. The absolute importance of art is looking for shape, form, line, tone, texture, and in this piece we've got the texture that is present. We are going to block in the colours. We're going to do it tonally though, because we're just using tea. What we do need to remember is your teachers, while you're at home, will not be expecting you to do anything which involves having things you don't have. So to do something is going to be absolutely fantastic, and if you can share it with your teachers, I can honestly tell you that they will be overjoyed. So this is particularly for my friend's little girl, and she is called Lexi Kinsella. Sibo, I am told. And here we are drawing the basic shape of clouds, and can you see, look, it looks quite childlike. However, don't worry, you know, Van Gogh, his work, people look at it and say, oh, what's this? It sells for thousands and thousands of pounds, and all the artists that have come since Van Gogh, they all want to look at his work because he is so well known. So always a great one to look at. So they're the extra lines that I'm putting in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for different amounts of light and dark. So we call this tone, and I'm just going to shade in with my pen where those dark bits are, and this is a pen which is going to run. So I know that these areas are going to end up much darker. So I'll just shade it in there like this. And you will see, can you see, this is not neat shading, is it? I'm trying to create texture. So it doesn't matter whether it is neat or not. And I can see some curving happening in this area. I can see some curving this way in the others. So I just make those kind of rhythms. Van Gogh's work was all about these rhythms, the rhythm of nature. He felt that it flowed through him, or so they say from his letters that were written to his brother. So when I've got that much done, approximately that, I'm going to find a brush. Now you may have in your house a blusher brush, a makeup brush, something that is very different to what I've got. I've got a paintbrush. I'm not choosing a really good paintbrush here. I'm just using a paintbrush. And here is my tea bag sat in some water. Use it. I've already boiled this. I've already made my cup of tea from this. It is it's cold now. However, if it's warm tea, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be upright. For the sake of demonstration, I'm gonna have to be upright. But what you can do is go over the top like this, leaving the white bits. If there's any white areas, try not to paint them. So brush over the top. You'll see that it starts to disappear a bit. We draw it back in afterwards, don't worry. This is all about the fun of learning. You're going to end up with little bits of tea on your work that we'll have to brush off afterwards. But come on, let's make the most of this time. It's going to be enjoyable. So I keep telling myself when I don't have a classroom full of children. So here I am. It's not that exciting really. I would rather be at work, but this is the next best thing, I felt. So here, that's the top bit blocked in. We can go back over it after. Please don't be too precious or worried. Precious means where you want it to be perfect. What we're going to do is literally brush over it like this. There we are, there's the path brushed over, this bit that goes at the side of it. We'll go over the top of that. We'll go over the top of this bit. If we want it to remain quite light, just do one quick brush. We don't want to go over it all the time. If we want it to get darker, we can go over it more. We have to layer it. If we go backwards and forwards over the paper all the time, paper will become very, very bobbly, and that is not what we want to do to our paper really. So try to avoid brushing backwards and forwards the whole time. And here we are, look. So quite quickly we've got something that is resembling Van Gogh's Wheatfield with Crows, although some of you out there may have noticed there are no crows yet. Now you do have to be a little bit patient, which means we have to wait for this layer to dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to brush this on, brush the tea, remember it's just tea, on over the top, and once I've actually done it, I'm going to go and have a cup of tea. And with that, this will hopefully have dried, and when I come back you'll see the next step. So you can see I'm not applying too much, it's not running down the paper, well it is, but not to like cause a big river. And I will put a little bit, a very, very little bit over some of this white because I think it's going to be too stark or too bright. So I'll put a little bit, leaving some of it. Okay, see you shortly. Here you can see I've started to add the crows, and I've also added another layer of tea on top of some of the base coat that I'd already put on. We'll have to come back to this later as the video will be rather large and uploading here is very difficult, so watch out for part 2.